over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Welcome. Come, all ye faithful viewers, be joyful and triumphant as you watch another episode of the Farm Monitor. Glad you tuned in. I'm Ray DeLessio.
Yeah, I don't think that's how this carol goes, Ray, but I like it anyway. And as Ray said, welcome. I'm Jennifer Parson. If you're not feeling that holiday cheer just yet, don't sweat it. We have just the fix. Coming up, in the spirit of the season, we'll take you to Bartow County, where one family has turned their love of real Christmas trees into a cherished tradition and is helping other families create their own holiday magic along the way. Also on the show, keeping the greens pristine and the fairways flawless, how ABAC's hands-on turfgrass program is grooming the next generation of golf course pros.
And then later, we go one-on-one with the 2024 Georgia Farm Bureau Achievement Award winner, Cason Anderson. From humble beginnings and hard-earned success to finding balance in life, Cason's story is a testament to resilience, faith, and the true meaning of happiness. These stories and so much more right now on the Farm Monitor. For the Moss family, their journey started with a simple passion for real Christmas trees, a passion that blossomed into a thriving holiday tradition. What began as a small project has become a magical destination, drawing families from near and far to experience the joy of the season, pick out the perfect tree, and create cherished memories. Our John Holcomb takes us to Bartow County, where the spirit of Christmas is alive and thriving at the Moss Family Christmas Tree Farm.
This Christmas season, as many families are embracing their timeless traditions, the Moss family are embracing their own, running this Christmas tree farm, a tradition that was started by a simple desire to have a real Christmas tree a decade ago.
On Christmas Day, I decided, I was sitting there looking at my tree, what was left of it, and decided I wanted to start something for the family, just a little small farm, a little small plot. So I cleared a little bitty spot on the property here and planted about 10 to 15 trees, just trying to see which ones that liked the ground, the soil, and all that stuff. Before the next year, about 40 of my friends said, well, we would like to have a tree as well. So we started the process.
From there, it definitely was a learning experience, as Moss found out fairly quickly that growing Christmas trees isn't as simple as he thought, and ended up bush hogging them down after the first year.
I started planting all these different varieties of trees because I had always grew up knowing the Fraser fir, the pine trees. I planted all of them that first year. And out of the 700 trees I planted, all of the North Carolina species died because unfortunately we can't grow those here. So I actually went through with a bush hog and cut everything down and kind of restarted.
However, as you can tell, Moss decided to regroup and restart, and now grows beautiful picturesque trees that are sought after by families from near and far, with news traveling by word of mouth.
Really 95%, if not more, are customers that are returning and bringing friends or telling their neighbor about our trees and where to go and actually get to experience this. There's quite a few farms around, but many people could live next door and never know it was there. Many people just find us through their friends, honestly. That's our pretty much our marketing campaign is, hey, tell your family, come out and see Moss Family Tree Farm.
Of course, growing and managing an operation like this one isn't a task for the faint of heart, but Moss reassures me that all of the hard work is worth it in the end, as they work all year to sell memories, not a product.
We sell memories. We don't sell Christmas trees. The Christmas trees are something that you get here. While you're here, you hear kids laughing, families smiling, children running around the bounce houses, just seeing things that many of them have never seen before in their life. Yes, it is hard work, but those things make every bit of it worth it. Just seeing the smiles on kids' faces, the wonder, the awe, and the families and the parents as well.
Reporting in Adairsville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
With more than 400 golf courses here in Georgia and 16,000 nationwide, countless man-hours are required to keep them in top condition, no matter the season. As Damon Jones shows us, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College is working to provide that workforce with qualified graduates each and every year.
While it might be off-season for golfers, there is no such thing for those who are tasked with maintaining the fairways and greens. That's why ABAC, with their turfgrass and course management program, as well as this course just a few miles off campus, is so important, as students get both the classroom and real-world learning experience before joining the workforce.
They are hopefully taking the knowledge they get in our lectures and labs and then putting it into practice on a day-to-day basis, because out here they get the superintendent allows them to do pretty much everything under his supervision.
And there is plenty to do out here, as keeping a golf course in pristine condition requires numerous tips of the trade that can only be learned through experience.
And there's a lot more to it than people realize. Behind the scenes, you have a lot of irrigation repairs on an aging irrigation system. You have a lot of spraying that we have to do to keep the turf looking very healthy. A lot of technical aspects of golf course maintenance that you have to learn, and little secrets that you have to apply to keep that grass looking like carpet.
Even though keeping each aspect of the course in good shape is always the goal, much of the focus and hard work goes into one area in particular.
The greens, definitely. The greens are your bread and butter of the golf course. You've got to keep consistent greens 12 months a year. We probably mow greens 320 days, 320 mornings a year. And there's also the other aspects like spraying greens. We spray greens probably 40 out of the 52 weeks a year.
That year-round effort pays off in the end, as graduates are well prepared to join a job market that not only is in high demand, but also has opportunities all over the country.
Students really benefit, good careers, and so they get to go all around the state and the nation, and we do a lot of hands-on learning here for our program, and so we try to provide these students with opportunities and skills to really go out there in the industry and succeed in the areas where they want to work and live.
Because of this, it's a program that has seen some major growth over the past decade in both numbers and status.
We've probably got one of the highest numbers in the country as far as our turfgrass program. But it's picking up. I know when I started, we had probably 65, 70 in the program. We're now at 106. So that's over a 10-year span, basically. So it's going up every year. I think it's an excellent program. I mean, I come through it, graduated, they hired me on at ABAC. We get multiple calls a day from other people that are alumni and companies and golf courses saying, hey, we want your kid to come.
Reporting from Tifton, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, his path to farming wasn't traditional, but through hard work and perseverance, he's built a thriving pecan operation from scratch. After the break, how this year's GFB Achievement Award winner is cultivating more than just crops.
Here's the problem is that we need to use more natural materials in rubber products like tires. If we don't, all of the synthetic products that we use for tires work very well, but they're harmful for the environment. They're harmful for fish, people, they cause problems. So we need to try to improve and use more natural materials that can be sustained and renewed year by year. So carbon black is something that's made from the oil industry, and what they do is they burn off the fuels and you're left with a black powder, and this powder is almost pure carbon, and it's very useful for tires and the tire industry because it makes rubber stronger. If we did not have carbon black, the tires on your car would only probably last about 6 months, and then they would wear down and decay. But because modern rubber industry has used carbon black and other materials, we can use that to make the tire much stronger. This is important work because we need to be thinking about sustainable solutions to a lot of our problems. Carbon black is something that we use a lot of every year billions of pounds of it every year. And if we keep relying on oil, and if oil should run out or become much more expensive, we need something sustainable that we can keep growing and use continuously to replace that material. So I work a lot with biochar, which is charcoal that's made from biomass, anything that we grow, plants and trees, crops, things like that. And we found that hardwoods work really well when making biochar. They're the closest we can get naturally to carbon black. They're very high purity, they have a lot of carbon in them, and that's been reasonably successful and allowed us to replace up to about 50% of the carbon black in rubber composites. What I do with biochar is I do lots of different tests to characterize it and to process it to try to get it as close to carbon black as I can, so it makes for a good substitute material. One of the ways that I do that is reducing the particle size. So what we do is we grind it, and we use a ball mill to grind it to a really fine consistency. And one of the things that I developed was a method to use a little bit of silica, which is something that can go in tires naturally anyway, and it makes the grinding process work that much more efficiently, where it gets even smaller to really tiny, fine powder. And we found that that's been a good plus, a good boost to our biochar to make it more effective as a reinforcing filler. While biochar is a fairly good substitute for carbon black, we're not 100% of the way there. We would love to get rid of carbon black completely. So we need to continue improving biochar and looking at other sustainable materials, such as rice husks or other natural forms of silica, to help us bring to 100% so we can fully replace petroleum in our rubber composite fillers.
Something to keep in mind as we celebrate the holidays with family and friends, Georgia's top agri organizations, including Georgia Farm Bureau, have an ongoing relief fund for farmers impacted by Hurricane Helene. Donations continue to pour in, having exceeded more than $1 million, with the goal set at $1.5 million. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit gfb.org/hurricane relief.
This week, we begin the first of a series of stories on the talented young farmers who will represent Georgia Farm Bureau at next month's American Farm Bureau Convention during the YF&R competitions. First up is a young man who has taken a bold and determined journey in agriculture, proving that with perseverance and faith, dreams can become reality. Here now, a closer look at 2024 GFB Achievement Award winner, Cason Anderson. Cason Anderson once dreamed of having a cab tractor, an irrigated farm, and a team of employees. Looking back, he realizes he's achieved those goals. But with age and experience, he's also learned an important lesson. And that's that true happiness doesn't come from accomplishments or a career alone. You see, for Cason, the path to agriculture was far from straightforward.
My grandpa was a farmer, but he was retired, I think, by 1979 or 80. I never got to meet him, he's deceased. And so it skipped a generation. I was fortunate enough to grow up on a little bit of rural acreage. But my parents were not farmers. They, between FFA in middle school and high school, and there was an older mentor that I helped harvest pecans. He passed away, and I went out on my own right after graduating high school.
That solo venture began on a modest 64 acres that were slated to become a subdivision. With small, old equipment and a lot of grit, Cason harvested 64,000 pounds of pecans. Realizing its potential, he submitted his 2 weeks' notice at a grocery store and committed himself fully to farming. Over the years, he's carved out a reputation as someone who would take on neglected or substandard properties and turn them into productive orchards.
I would show up and shake trees, $5 a tree, $6 a tree, harvest someone's 3-acre yard on halves, little commercial corner lots that were neglected orchards. I would go in and keep the property maintained, pay the owner a little rent. And the prices were high enough to where I could farm neglected property, substandard property. And then I guess I got my name out there, kind of cut my teeth on stuff no one wanted. And I remember like 2015, I got a good lease in Fort Valley, and I was so ecstatic to get my first irrigated farm, you know, a farm that a guy with a big last name used to tend. And it was just one thing led to another.
But as we know, success in agriculture is never guaranteed. Hurricanes, fluctuating markets, and other challenges have taught Cason that resilience and perspective are essential.
Hurricane Helene was projected to hit us, you know, and we're very blessed and fortunate. I hate to say that because I don't think my friends to the east are less blessed, but if you know, achievement and successes, whatever, all that can be taken away in a 1 hour period, you know. A couple trade deals gone bad. You know, if you put your identity in your job, you know, what good is it? I could have lost it all with Helene. I mean, I could lose it all again next summer. You don't know. So that's why I try not to let my farm be my identity anymore. So I started going to a gym in town, and there's no one there's a farmer. You're not talking about weather, prices. You're just a whole new outlook of life, and that led to running. And it's like when you're running, you ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about what we're gonna do tomorrow, waiting on a part. I'm short some money, you know, hopefully I get this check in 30 days and pay this creditor or whatever. It's just you either keep running or you quit.
Cason's outlook has shifted from chasing scale to cherishing sustainability. Looking ahead, he hopes to remain in the orchard he's built, cultivating not only pecans, but a legacy of perseverance and faith.
Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? I hope I'm still standing in this orchard right here. You know, it's not an easy, there's no commodity that's hitting it out of the park. So yeah, I hope I'm still a somewhat profitable pecan farmer, and it's kind of all I really have done since I was 18.
What a guy, right? Stay tuned in the coming weeks as we continue showcasing Georgia's talented young farmers heading to San Antonio.
Speaking of Cason Anderson, did you know that his pecans helped make these little guys possible? Well, his pecans, other pecan growers in Georgia, and various other states in the U.S. as well. But pretty neat to know that this bar is made possible because of farmers like Cason. And Ray, to really get a sense of their hard work, the only option is to try one, right?
Yep.
And lucky for you, I brought a candy bar in for each of us. So you get a pecan Snickers, and you get a pecan Snickers. And those at home watching, have you tried one yet? Let us know what you think on our Facebook page. Well, here in Georgia, soy-based foam isn't just a product, it's a revolutionary tool in firefighting. Up next, how Cross-Plains Solutions and the United Soybean Board are reshaping safety standards nationwide. Finally this week, a groundbreaking innovation from Dalton, Georgia. Cross-Plains Solutions has unveiled TF1122, a soybean-based firefighting foam that combats multiple fire classes without harmful chemicals. Here's more from the United Soybean Board on how TF1122 is set to transform firefighting.
Just the joy of getting up every day and doing something that you love. I mean, it's a passion for me. It's just become part of my nature and part of my being. I'm a 7th generation farmer and hopefully 8 generations with my children coming up. firefighters and farmers, they're kind of along the same line where they're the backbone of our community. We depend on them wholeheartedly because they're our first line of defense.
Anytime we can get the carcinogens out of it, makes the world safer for us as firefighters. We already have enough risks going into hazardous environments with smoke, everything else. So anything we can reduce our daily exposure to carcinogens, to toxins, makes it hugely beneficial for us. It's going to help the future generation of firefighters if we can find products that work just as well as our existing products we have now. That's huge for us as firefighters because we can't take a step back in technology with what we're using, what we're doing, to make it harder for us to use something that's safer.
You really never know what you're going to face. You know, there's just so many different things that it could be that you could show up to at any given time for a call at structure fires, vehicle fires, wildland fires. There's a lot of different things that we could face, a lot of challenges.
In the demonstrations I got to see today, the ability to knock down a fire as quickly as it did, that's extremely important, especially with limited manpower. We could take a product like this. We also, not only are we limited in manpower, we're limited in water resources. In the rural community, we don't have the fortune of tying onto a hydrant like you do in the city. So we rely on the water that we carry in our neighboring departments, and water management is extremely important. So with a product like the soy foam, it makes that water go that much further, and it knocks actually, from what I saw today, knocks the fire down that much faster.
Well, this product is natural. We're over 50% soy-based. We're over 84% bio-based, and we're over 90% natural. So it's a very, very safe product from the standpoint safer than the products that have been being used. There are several instances of cancer-related illnesses that firefighters are facing, and for us to be able to offer a product that firefighters can carry into firefighting situations and know the product they're carrying is safe to them. Green Screen certification goes into not only the component that we gave to them for testing, but every component within the formulation. The testing for Green Screen goes very, very deep in every single aspect of the formulation. Clean Production Group has been testing products for over 20 years, and our product is the very first firefighting foam that has achieved gold level. So we're very proud of that. The farmers have been very helpful with the checkoff and being able to help us with what we're doing. The response that we've gotten has just been great.
Well, I think as a U.S. soybean grower, that's a tremendous thing. For a product like soy foam that is going to be used by firefighters and first responders all over the U.S., I think it's very important.
We're trying to make sure that we stay safe with the products we use. We also want to make sure that our environment stays safe for the generations to come. And that was one of the neat things to see, that this soy-based foam that we demoed today is providing the equipment that we need to help extinguish these fires and preserve property. But when we're done and we walk away, we know we haven't done damage to the environment.
Big thanks to the United Soybean Board for that, and an even bigger thanks to you for making this show possible.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.